Hello and welcome to episode 37 of Detroit Comics Party. I'm Kevin Eckert, and this is Mike Burridge.
Hello.
And we are here today with Alex Testa. How are you today? Oh, welcome, officially.
Thank
From
you.
our
Wonderful.
country to yours.
No. Thank you from my country to yours. Our country to us.
So you do have some traditional music in your country that you are a member of the tribe that makes this music in the country?
You know, there's not a ton of interesting music that I can find on the internet that's Maltese music. I know that they have their own rock bands, probably pop artists. Can't find any weird internet music from Malta though. So
you decided to make it?
Okay, so Young Malta, that's my SoundCloud name. I have a cross, then it says Young Malta, then it says then it's like a cross. Remember when there were all the glitchy witch house names on SoundCloud and shit?
That are all just symbols and apostrophes and stuff that look like an AK-47?
Bull crap. Well, yeah, that kind of crap. Yeah, so I thought that kind of looked good as a SoundCloud title.
So is the music actually Maltese music in
No.
some way, or it's
No.
just this is an affectation?
It's a fun, the young thing. I like the young thing. You have your young lean with a U. You have your
young internet.
Your young internet. Your young Jeezy, etc. So
Wanted to keep it young.
wanted to keep it young.
Do you see Young Jeezy on who's my man's who's the king of interviewers? King? No.
Nardwar?
Not Nardwar.
Charlie Rose,
No, it's like Charlie Rose, but older man with the suspenders.
Larry King.
Larry King.
Oh, young Jeezy.
Was Jeezy on Larry
Jeezy
King?
on Larry King was the funniest freaking thing I've ever seen in my life. It was like watching a stop motion of an ice cream cone melt. But Larry King is almost playing racist devil's advocate. Oh, that rap music has a melody?
Do you think?
And
he's
it's that was a
playing?
question.
Is he playing?
It had to be.
Okay.
I don't know. That made me think of it. I don't know. Jeezy held it down so strongly though, in spite of Larry King being baffled by why the hell are they sending me these. I'm the best journalist of my generation, and this is what I have to do now on Hulu. It's it's some internet station. Is this new show on?
How dare Hulu?
How dare Hulu?
Oh, you could go so many different directions with an interview like that too. But he probably asked him about the state of hip hop or
I wish.
what rap music is. Period.
Not
Yeah, what
hardly.
is it?
I mean, if Jeezy could sit down with me, I would win a freaking Pulitzer Prize.
You would get the
Yup.
juice.
Just like if McDonald's gave me the license to make McDonaldland the movie or Fry Guys the movie, I would win a freaking Oscar. That's how I really feel.
Because Young Jeezy would star in it as the hamburger.
Young Jeezy would be in it some way. Where the hell are we going?
I don't know.
So, Alex, you've been kind of quiet you've been kind of off my radar artistically for a while, but when we were hanging out regularly and seeing each other regularly, you were doing these crazy illustrations where it was in this complex dripping style of
Very acidy.
very classical acid illustration.
Yeah. Maze-like.
Are you still drawing? Are you still illustrating things?
Yeah, I keep most of everything that I make in my sketchbook, and I kind of if I have my sketchbook in my car or sitting out, if somebody comes over, then they're like, yo, what's in this? But because I don't have a lot of finished stuff, I usually go, skip the first 8 pages. That's the drawing. Oh, don't look at that drawing. There's one after that. So I don't have a ton of like hand-drawn illustrations, but I did do like a handful more pixel art pictures, MS Paint style. But like aside from that, just like a few different attempts at doing like glitch art, you know. Take an image, save it, like open up the data or whatever on a WordPad, rearrange it, and it makes like these cool little scan lines. So I did like a handful of those, and I put them on Tumblr.
Does the nature of that speak to you as an artist, or is it just something that you think it looks really cool, or is does it have some kind of like connection to anything else?
I guess like seeing a lot of stuff on the internet, I thought, oh, vaporwave art is cool. I thought, just different cool images I would see on Tumblr. I wanted to do something kind of like that. So I guess putting stuff up like that was just like for fun, or just to see if I could do it. But now, like, what I'll do is maybe I'll download like a show, and I'll try and find like a cool GIF. So I've been kind of playing like the note game, like uploading like GIFs that I think will get like reblogged and posted and crap like that.
That's so strange to hear that, like, maybe your inspiration is like something you saw on the internet or a Tumblr, because I felt like you were such a singular voice that you transcended Tumblr and transcended the internet.
And we're only doing it in the sketchbook and nowhere else?
Well, I just think that's like a notable evolution in your creative output, where it almost just feels like a feedback loop where you defined the culture for a minute, and then it caught up with you, and now you're like redigesting it into itself. Which
that snake that eats his own butt.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know by the time I joined Tumblr, it was probably a few years too late. So now it doesn't seem like it's really hot and crazy, but there are like a handful of different kind of followers that where like they'll follow me, or I'll see them on there and I'll be like, this is some really crazy shit. Like either people's photography, either people's like shit that they repost that's from SoundCloud. I'll come across good music. So I've kind of like wanted to find a place on there, and as of now, it's kind of cool.
So I remember in your drawings, like the subject matter would sometimes be like a portrait, even if it was in the very drippy, acidy style. It would be a portrait of somebody you knew, or like one of our friends. Is that still something that you're interested in drawing, or what have you been working on?
I want to do more of like that kind of stuff. The last few things I put on Facebook that were like, here's an image and here's a SoundCloud link. I did one of Joel like last year. I did one of this other DJ from the works, the drum and bass guy named Calico. I did one of him. And I did one of like another music artist who makes like weird kind of beats. So I did like a good pixel art portrait of him where it's drippy, and the guy's face is disguised by like kind of like a little logo. And I've been wanting to like get back into drawing and doing more of that pixel stuff, but as of now I've been trying to like learn my way around like the digital audio workshop, like the Fruity Loops. So
cool. Do you that was a good segue into music, so I'm going to pull it back into drawing. But what do you see as, like, do you think about what is going to be the final form of any of the drawings, like whether it's going to be online or whether it's going to, do you think, like, are you going to make any like books or prints or anything, or is it stuff that just lives on Tumblr for the most part?
No, I've been wanted to do the shirt thing. I've wanted to do that for a while, and it's always been like maybe setting aside money and going to a shop, or like really linking up with like Rochelle and doing some stuff with her. So I've been wanting to do shirts. I've been wanting to do like some clean drawings just to have them saved. Maybe either color something by hand or just like magic wand fill a negative space on Photoshop.
Didn't you do some? I remember you doing some shirts. Did you do a couple of just like single, like painted shirts like that you were making for a while, where it was just like you would just do one? It wasn't like a print or anything.
I was gonna say one of the most prized possessions that I own is an original hand-painted Sippy Cups shirt.
Is it like orange and green? I want to say.
Yeah,
Or
and I think it's on a yellow shirt, which is now like getting real close to like traveling punk rock
Being a
gray.
nut.
Oh, wow.
Like yeah, it's falling apart. But that guy got mad use. Super. It was like all the most important thing. Like if it was a big show, I'd make sure to wear the Sippy Cups shirt for it. Or it was always my companion on the most important adventures.
Yeah, there was like a way you described it when Carlos, he made his Belle Isle Brontosaurus shirt, and you're like, these shirts are one of a kind and they're like really delicate. That's why they're so like rad. Shoot, I would like to mess around and maybe do some hand printed or like hand painted stuff like for fun, but I guess what I'd really like to do would be like a good clean screen print and maybe like 10 or 15 shirts to see if I can sell them to friends or, you know, trade them with people, etc.
I couldn't let it. What? So you're kind of focusing on almost like trap beats now,
Yeah.
or 808 heavy stuff and like snare rush.
Yeah, like
That sort of thing?
like just like sprinkler hi-hats and then like a rhythm with like an 808, equalizing the 808 so they kind of boom in the headphones, and then like drag and dropping music from video game original soundtracks, or like cutting like acapellas, like pitching down like sections of voice I can find. So I have like a whole bunch of like stems and unfinished things, and ideally what I would have wanted to do would have been like finished like 3 good beats and then made the EP, then come here and be like, hey, this is what I got. But as of now, that's just like my like musical, is to make like a solid 3 beats I can like gladly show to people, or maybe if I find like a rapper on SoundCloud where I'm like, it'd be tight if you rapped on this, I can send that.
You should hit up Baby Tap. Have you heard Baby Tap? You know Baby Tap.
That's Joel's boy, right?
Yeah. But that dude's, I think, in London, and I think he's probably down to work with people through the internet. And I think his fame should be unmatched. He should be up in the stratosphere. But then he's like Instagram videoing the other day, like, I work at the commercial coffee shop and I have 5:30 in the morning and I have to be here alone and this Christmas music's so loud, and like he's probably basically working at a Starbucks when
British Starbucks.
British Starbucks, when I think he's probably this, as I would call him, the singular voice of where rap music should be going right now. You get on it, and his videos remind me of like stuff that I think you would end up with, you know, like I think
Baby Tap?
Baby
Baby
Tap.
Tap.
Okay.
But I think it would be super cool if, you know, like a lot of people who have bands in Detroit really, you know, might go on tour throughout the country, but really will blow up if they go overseas, where it would be cool if like Baby Tap was like, oh, maybe he plays a couple shows over there, but his real following is Detroit, you know, where all these producers reach out like, oh, can we get an acapella? Or, oh, I made this beat, could you just voice this beat? And like, all this call just from Detroit for like, can you please send us something special? Because there's really a scene here that would love it.
Well, we are Europe's Europe.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. Just an idea of somebody to reach out to where I think you've got a unique style that would suit his unique style.
He has like a whole thing that's, you watch a video and there's a lot to look at. I saw one that was very, very blue, and he's wearing like different outfits. And I would definitely like to hear like what he thinks, or maybe get like a message reply, hit him up and, you know, make like chit chat. But I, for one, would like to see an artist like that popping around here.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's a big demand for that kind of alternative rap.
Even in the alternative rap Quotey Fingers scenes around here, though, it seems very not as alternative as I'd like it to be.
Right.
It's like, as an alternative to fame and success, we're here.
Yeah.
Where it seems like somebody who's really treading the, you know, edges of psychedelia and strangeness. I'd like to see more respect and like honest love for that.
Yeah.
Where it seems like, you know, we know rappers who are unfamous, and it's like a lot of their tone and style is trying to maybe get, you know, right? Like
famous style.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like let's see. Okay, so like if there's an alternative artist that is from let's say like the West Coast, when they kind of tour here and blow through here, sometimes they get love. You know, if they have like, let's say like a review from like the Needle Drop, or maybe like some Pitchfork thing going on, then like a handful of people come out to those shows, and then maybe they get hot for a little bit, and then kind of cool off. But those sort of rappers like Baby Tap and like Kicks to Killa and Mickey Blanco, I feel like they have like a thing going with like gender-ambiguous, I don't know if that's what you call it, like gender-ambiguous kind of rap.
How did Leaf do? Did you go to that at Marble Bar?
Was that recently?
I don't know. I just remember that it was like, oh shit, Leaf is gonna play at Marble Bar, and we were like, we're gonna go. We'll definitely be there. And then months passed, and I didn't hear about it again. I just imagined you went, and I didn't.
No, I didn't go.
I wonder if it was at capacity there.
I'd like to. Either Rochelle played, or she was hanging out with Leaf, or something. I think she went to that, and she said it was probably like really, really good. But I could maybe only imagine 40 people there.
I don't know, though.
Marble? Oh.
When I played at Marble Bar, there was 40 people there. So if somebody who's on the world stage plays there, I would have to imagine it was like shoulder to shoulder.
Okay, maybe like 80 people. Maybe. I saw some rapper named Antoine over there, and I was surprised by how many people came out for that too, because his music's sort of like, kind of like emo-ish and kind of like cloud rappy, and he got a lot of love just based on that. So.
Is there anything locally that kind of you feel like matches up with that style? Like people we have here who kind of like would fit in with that? Because I honestly, I don't know of anyone.
Yeah, the rap people that I know are the people that sort of do like the boom bap kind of stuff, or like the trip hop influence stuff, like Spastalaqua guys, Illingsworth and Doc Waffles, and you know, that stuff, like a lot of that style of rap around here does really well in like Europe. But it doesn't really get love in the city. And when they tour, they probably get love. But weird rap that's going on around here, I know like Danny Brown's boys, like the Bruiser Brigade. When those dudes do shows, people come out based on his name. But that's like the closest thing I can think of where like there are artists in that collective that are putting out either mixes or producing for other artists, where they're getting people at their shows. So.
Has anyone heard that new Danny Brown record on Warp?
Yeah.
Was it good?
Yeah, hell yeah. It's pretty weird, and it's got great features, and
I heard
you'd like
one
it.
song off it, and I liked it.
We're very prepared journalists. Like, has anyone heard this? I live under a
Have you
rock.
watched this show?
Yeah.
Do you know this name?
But, it wouldn't be an Alex Testa interview if we didn't touch even for a second on sippy cups and the history there.
Yeah, shoot. I got into doing sippy cups. I heard like somebody down the street or somebody in like the same area, Farmington Hills. I saw their MySpace. They had really crappy songs recorded, so I was like, Rochelle, I want to put up music because I think we can make cooler music than these guys.
This is Rochelle Baker, former guest of the show.
Rochelle Baker, former guest of the show, Little Animal. So like, I don't know what I did. I think I used like this light snake USB thing. You plug it into the computer, then you can plug like a jack into it. Mm-hmm. So we recorded, and I recorded like keys from like a family grandpa keyboard, $40 microphone from Guitar Center to like record some voice, and I would kind of like just delay and amplify and fade in and fade out like random stuff that I recorded with Audacity, and kind of like piece it together and play with like rearranging the crap on the wavelength. So I made like a handful of tracks and then started to post them on MySpace, and eventually we got Rochelle Propeller Head's Reason on her computer, so she was messing with beats. One of our art class buddies from high school, he was like tooling around with recording guitar and also doing beats. So I would kind of like take the sound that we would make when we would jam, or from like the stuff that we would make by ourselves, and kind of like just chop it up and make Sippy Cups tracks.
Some of those Sippy Cups tracks were, I feel like, some of the most like kaleidoscopic, triumphant moments where you would just conduct it from just a simple sound into crazy, like a Game Boy gone berserk, into like almost a pop song, and you can almost find the beat, and then it like is just washing into this otherness, which when Sippy Cups was good, it was positively euphoric, I feel like. And definitely there was a show was it a Novi or a Farmington Hills garage where I think it was Sippy Cups, some rap guy that had some connection to you or Rochelle, mm-hmm. who played on like had a Play School microphone, and then like Adam Gallegos did all improvised rock and roll, and all three of those things stood as some of the finest examples of like what I want to see live electronic music be with Sippy Cups, what I want to see like surreal avant-garde rap music be with whoever that guy was, and what I want rock and roll to be with Adam Gallegos doing like, he was like, no, we're only going to do 30-second songs. And it was with these musicians he'd never even met before, and he's like telling them when to stop, but it was so on, it was ridiculous. And it was like that, and it, again, like 10, 15 people in this like suburban, wealthy, like McMansion garage. And it was very strange to see like such a high watermark of all three of these like disparate genres be at their finest moment in this isolated area. It was like,
is there a way to make that happen?
That's,
like, like intentionally to put that together, or is it something that can only happen naturally?
That felt totally accidental, but I feel like that's what we're trying to do. We've been trying to make that exact mood, even if it hasn't been like literally directly addressed. Like, I feel like that's what we're aiming for.
Yeah. It's hard to even describe it as that, because it was such like a weird, not weird, but it was like an occurrence that only happened through people that knew people. Remember when we did that thing in front of Noir Leather with Marco Polio? So somebody that was hanging out with Marco Polio told told us to play at that garage. So we brought Jason to do the rapping and like the weird music. And the group that Adam played with, he knew one of the girls in that group, and it was fun. Like I didn't expect there to be like 15 people, but I think that was like the most fun I ever had playing music to people.
It's the funnest time I got music played to me. that is the moment.
That was fun. Yeah.
When you played with Marco Polio, was that outside on the street? Was that
Yeah.
thing?
Yeah.
I remember watching from the top of the parking garage.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody recorded that, and I think like my dad saw it, and my dad was like, "This has to stop. Like this.
This has to stop!
This is terrible. I never want to see this again." And I was like, "Oh, okay." We didn't have anything like prepared. I think we had maybe like a CD, like maybe a burnt copy of a CD, and like we played it, and there was like some beats on it or something. And I think maybe Rochelle did the Cat Friendly cat song maybe.
But that was part of why it was cool. It was like vulnerable and, personal.
Yeah. It was like fun for us and for the handful of people that you guys brought, and Marco Polio came on and they killed it. Like a bunch of people came to watch. They were running around in the street, and
it was like broad daylight.
Yeah.
It was like 6 p.m. in like the summer.
Outside of Noir Leather.
Outside of Noir Leather, yeah.
That was a good time.
That's a lot of moods. Maybe like why the Garage show was so successful, like the Noir Leather show was so successful too, because you think Noir Leather, like for as much as it's like, oh, the novelties in downtown Royal Oak, it actually does have tight connection to like seriously extreme edge bondage things, I think, and like leather work. But it's like these literally at the time kids playing like fun, like talk about vulnerable music, like right outside of it as part of something that it's bonding with. The two brands are bonding in a way that, I don't know. The dissonance of that I love so good.
Yeah, I thought it was fantastic.
And plus, chiptune is a genre that personality and vulnerability like never make an appearance at. And I think to use those are perfect descriptors of what Sippy Cups was. And I hope that your music productions in the future can come out. I hope you can finish your, even if you have 3 beats that like want to go into other people's hands. I cannot wait to hear them, because I'll say it every time I have the opportunity, that I feel like you're a very singular voice in whatever artistic way that you do. Anything your hands touch, I think you bring your very specific, important voice to.
I appreciate that, very much.
And Alex, we thank you very much for coming on the show with us
thanks
today.
for being here,
we
man.
really appreciate it. And thank you to everyone for watching. We'll see you next time on Detroit Comics Party.